Yeah, I'll start with a very short poem. And in a way, the other poems will follow out of that. And it's called A Paradise of Poets. He takes a book down from his shelf and scribbles across a page of text, "I am the final one. This means the world will end when he does." In the Inferno, Dante conceives a paradise of poets and calls it limbo. Foolishly, he thinks his place is elsewhere. Now the time has come to write a poem about the paradise of poets. And in some ways, much of what I've written has been with that idea in mind. So although poetry may be taken as a private act, it's also a communal one. And so I've been involved with collaboration, with translation, and with the making of those big assemblages like Technicians of the Sacred and Poems for the Millennium. This next poem was written at the end of the last century, the 1990s, during a trip of some months in Paris. The arrival in the middle of summer, and at a time when various friends were beginning that process of dying that comes inevitably. So that enters into it. It was also, like now, a period of recession and unemployment, and there were many beggars in the streets, dressed differently, I thought, from beggars I was familiar with in New York and other places. So that enters into the poem as well. And I had been translating the poetry of Pablo Picasso, and was then thrown back to that earlier time, which Paris takes so many pains to remind us of. So all of that enters into it. 3 Paris elegies. Into my own dark Sunday light approaches like the moon through feathers that's no sooner seen than sunk by blindness, and the thought that everyone is dead around a city that's about to vanish as it has before, sucked down an empty pocket oversized and with a smell of earth, the bright adventurers of 1910, whose streets these were, sharing a common grave with those who followed, reaching even to the place where you and I are waiting with the friends who drop out one by one like cyber monkeys flying into mindless space. 2. In the periods, above a gorge, we hung and swayed. The mountains were alive to every side, stoned witnesses. The air was still with only a distant puff of wind. We sat suspended by an iron wire, voiceless, no one to talk to in the world but you and me. That revelation, I think I prize its emptiness the most, so even now, arrived in Paris, I sit alone and feel it burning from my chest, electric, final rush of footsteps down an empty street. 3. Why does a well-dressed man come up to me and ask me for a handout? This is a dream, I think. It can't be real. Why does a smiling mother dressed for church reach out a hand to touch me, shadows all around her, sitting on the ground? Why does she ask for help? And why do I keep walking past her where there is no street or sun, even in Paris on this hottest day in summer? What is the sound that comes at us around the corner, a sound of the waves suspended in the air, of hives of bees, of hands applauding in the dark? Who is the man who wears a flower in his ear, a shirt with many folds, a vest, a beard, the buttons glowing like electric sparks? The more I search his features, I can see his lips are gone, his tongue is heavy, hanging to one side and forming words that never reach me, that the darkness covers. All the people on this street sit flat against the wall, some open-eyed, some sunk in a deep sleep, all dressed up The men wear business suits and blazers, a cardigan, a double-breasted jacket, a tuxedo, ties and tails, but have no coats or hats. Their shoes are simple, always a dark brown or black with marks of sand from garden walks in Paris, laces open sometimes without socks. And the women, well dressed too, although the hair of one is hanging limply, with another's there are open spots that show her skull. A third one has the traces of a beard, a large wet stain under one armpit. Just look at them, and they begin to talk the way that birds talk. Feathers that the wind is blowing swirl across the square. We sit in paradise and pass a ball between us, papers at our feet. Then when it's time to leave, we walk around a corner, climb the little flight of stairs, and hear them following. The rush of music from a distant time, a woman's voice becoming regular, the words emerging low and high, relentless openings, processions. And it's Picasso in the lead, a little man with hairy shoulders. He is stripped down to his running shorts like Frank O'Hara. Both of them now stars to Mineola Prep. Both now declare their love of evil. With Apollinaire here too, his head no bigger than a thumbnail, flanked by Gertrude Stein, eyes like a crazy doll's, and someone looking like my father, Max Jacob, wrapped in a monk's brown cloak down which his body disappears. Here in a world where there are only little people, phantoms, where the sky is not a sky, the earth is shrinking daily under silver plastic, disappearing, slipping through my hands like balls in a pachinko parlor, eyes revolving like red lights. To end here in La République with all the other dead, the hungry ghosts under our windows, a soup kitchen for the dead, the ones who run, the ones who squat now on the grass. They speak our frailty, the doom built into life, decomposition, chaos, anarchy, confusion, worse confounded, helter, skelter, squalor, out of whack and out of order, out of kilter, out of money, out of time and out of place, and out of breath and out of work, and out of hope and out of power. Because the men who come to us, though dead, are just like us and stare at us like fallen princes. We welcome you to death, they say, their looks dividing us in two. Numbers dance again behind our eyes. The circles break. The man holding a clock up to his ear will count the silence. Every day is summer. What was once alive is gone. And what has yet to be alive is also gone. It's fairly grim.